This is Listen Lakeland, the show that keeps you up to date on all the things that make our city a great place to live, work, and play. Today's host is the founder of Compass Smart Solutions Educational Consulting, providing custom-tailored training, professional development, business coaching, and motivational speaking. With over 25 years of experience in educational leadership and management, she helps businesses and organizations promote their message through digital marketing and branding strategies. She's the founder and CEO of The Well, a collaborative workspace in Lakeland, helping entrepreneurs build and grow their business. They're all about connecting, collaborating, creating, and celebrating. Please welcome your host, Dr. Sallie Stone.
Welcome to the good life.
All right. Thank you so much for joining us on today. I'm Dr. Sallie Stone, and it's great to be hosting this month's episode of Listen Lakeland. This show is an extension of the Lakeland Vision. For over 2 decades, Lakeland Vision has been a voice for the citizens of Lakeland, working with community stakeholders to create a bright future for our city. Today on Listen Lakeland, I am joined by 2 phenomenal ladies with me on today, and I am so excited to be able to share and talk with them about what's going on in their world. Please welcome with me our community liaison directors for Lakeland, Miss Kylia Carswell and Miss Reba Coil. Welcome, 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 ladies. How are you doing on today?
We are great. Thank you.
Yes, doing wonderful.
Well, listen, I have been so excited about this episode, so I want to just jump right into it. So I'm going to just start out with just asking you, share a little bit about your journey to where you have arrived as community liaison directors for Lakeland. A little bit about your background and, what you're most excited about in your current role. How about we start with you, Reba?
So my name's Reba Coil, and I have been in this position since February. And my background is really mostly education and nonprofit. I have graduated from Florida Southern College, and I have to always say that I'm the only one of these liaisons out of 4 of us that is not a Lakeland and Polk County native.
Uh-oh.
I'm sad about that, yes, but I'm proud of my hometown of Daytona Beach. But I did come to Florida Southern in 1991, so I've been here ever since. So I feel like I'm a native. So I graduated with a primary education and elementary degree. I went on to teach for a while, then had my kids and stayed home. Got back into it and worked as a Magnet Schools Assistance Program Grant coordinator at Bartow Elementary Academy. And then went to work for a nonprofit in the area called Polk Vision as their leadership Polk program manager. Had 4.5 great years there, met some wonderful community and business leaders from across the county, a lot of here still in Lakeland. Then I went back into the school district and I worked in the workforce education department as the business and community liaison. Learned a lot there about our career academies, technical colleges, adult schools, everything that we offer in our middle and high schools. Also then had this opportunity kind of landed in my lap, and community liaison sounded wonderful. I have a passion for education and I have a passion for our community. So these 2 things just tied hand in hand. And if I could pick the job off the tree, I always say this is the one. So I'm happy to be here. Thank you for having us.
That is an awesome foray into this area. And certainly I do get when you say you are not necessarily from the Lakeland area, but you just have to be careful how loud you say that one. So truly it's good to have you here, Reba. All right, Miss Carswell, I know you're from Lakeland, homegrown. So tell us a little bit about you.
Definitely homegrown. As you've said, I am Kylia Carswell. From here, grew up here, went to school here. I am a product of the Polk County Public School System, as are my children. I graduated from Kathleen High School, class of 1995. Yes, I am aging myself on the radio, but I am a proud graduate, proud alumni of Kathleen High School. After high school, I attended Florida A&M University, obtained my bachelor's degree in psychology and social work. Then I have a master's degree in management and leadership from Webster University. My career path has kind of been through social services, education, child welfare, did a little bit of all of that, but all of it centered around children. Everything that I've done has been about children and improving their livelihoods, improving the quality of education that they receive, just wanting to make this place a better world for our students and the children that we're serving. Most recently, I served as a community partnership school director with Children's Home Society over at an elementary school in Tampa. Awesome position, awesome role. Did it for 4.5 years. Was really hands-on with the families we were serving, the students, even with my staff. And so being in that school system, in that school directly, really was just an eye-opener yet again to help me understand this is the need. We need people who care about students, who care about what we're doing, and how can we holistically meet the needs of the students that we have. And so when this position was brought about, someone else brought it to my attention, and I was excited. I was ready to be back in my county, back in my community, making a difference. And so immediately applied and was like, yes, this is it. This ties together everything that I've done in the past when I was with Family Fundamentals, Heartland for Children, all of that coming together in this one position, and then being able to bring together the people of the community to support our students in our schools. So I love it.
That is absolutely amazing. And as I sit here as an educator, as a principal by trade, I get so excited thinking about this opportunity for you all to bring community engagement to the doorsteps of schools. So just a little bit about what do you do exactly? I mean, I could pretty much ascertain from the title, community liaison directors, what that is, but you all have spoke so eloquently about your background. How does that tie together with what your objectives are as a community liaison director?
Well, really, I like to always say that this position is we are the people that are building the bridge between our community, our businesses, our nonprofits, our faith-based organizations, and we're bringing them into the schools because, as we all know, our principals are out there working tirelessly day after day.
Absolutely.
I mean, some 15, 18 hours a day.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they're working. And they're working at home, they're working on the weekends, and they don't really have the opportunity to go out to a Rotary meeting or a Kiwanis meeting or speak or just come to an event and network. So really, that's one of the most important things about our job is we are out there being the voice for the schools and educating the community about what's going on in our education system, because there's so many good things that are happening. And sometimes we get, overrun with the negative. And so we're out there, we're going to be the champions for our schools. We're going to talk about the good things that are happening, and we're going to want to get our business community invested. I'm a firm believer in we cannot have it all on the shoulders of the teachers, the administration. We've got to wrap our arms around them as a community and as a business community and say, we're here to help raise these children and get them ready for the workforce.
It reminds me of when I was principal at Sykes Elementary. And I can say it without hesitation. Our motto, our philosophy was school, home, community, team together to make Sykes Elementary the best that it can be. And when you think about, I love the way you put it, championing the cause of the schools and everybody coming together and doing their part. So, Kylia, just kind of, you may absolutely tag on to that, but while you're doing that, share a little bit about the impetus for pushing this initiative forward that the district had.
Okay. So about 3.5, 4 years ago, the then superintendent saw a need to bring in a role like this in one of our communities that was struggling just a little bit with understanding where things were headed with public education. And so to combat some of that, they built this role so that we had a person who was working with those businesses in that community to help them understand and support the services and the needs of our students in those schools. And it was a success. And so our current Superintendent Hyde, saw those successes and said, what is happening with this position? How do we build upon this? And upon him entering into his role, he decided to add, with the approval of the school board, add additional positions. And so therefore, Reba and our other liaison named Betsy, who covers Haines City area, they were hired back in February. Okay. And then I came in March. So now we have 4 of us together total. There's Steve, Betsy, Kylia, and Reba. We're the dynamic 4. And we're covering Polk County, but we do have a need for a 5th liaison, which is coming down the pike from our superintendent. I got excited for a minute, you guys. They told me to calm down.
You got it.
Obviously, we love what we do. But there will be a
clear.
5th liaison coming who will cover South Polk County. We don't want to ever forget Bartow, Mulberry, Frostproof, Lake Wells. All of that area will be covered. Fort Meade, once we have our 5th liaison.
Well, and Polk County is such a huge district. I mean, when you think about the number of students, as a member of the District Advisory Council, hearing the data and the statistics, it's like 126 117,000 students. And
growing.
and employees is pretty much high up there in the, probably in the top of employers here. Number 2, maybe?
One or two.
One or two? Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, we don't have all the receipts on those, but we'll just assume that is pretty high, and even having positions that are currently unfilled, which makes it even more important to have those that are looking at all the challenges, the areas that need improvement. And so let's talk about that for a little bit. And you mentioned, Kylia, that Mr. Hyde saw the need through some of the challenges that were inherent in our school system. Can you talk a little bit about some of those challenges that makes this position such an integral part of what needs to be happening in Polk County schools?
So, Kylia and Stephen, Betsy, and I have talked about this quite a bit. And I think that when you're looking at it, the community is sitting out there and really wants to engage. They know they need to help. They know they want to partner, but they don't really know how. They don't know how to, get into the school. Do I just go call? Sometimes they don't, I don't get a phone call back, or they're busy. Like, what do I do? Who do I contact? And then the schools are sitting there going, yes, we need help, but who do I call? What do I do? So we're like the connector. So they can now come to us, and we're educating them on that. They can come to us and say, hey, we want to help this way. We want to bring internships, or we want to help with incentives. And then we can go to the schools saying, we need this. Can you reach out and find some, guest speakers for us? So it really is educating the community. And what I found, and I think Kylia can attest, is that once we educate everybody and we talk about what we're doing, everybody is so receptive. And they're like, we're here. What do you need? Absolutely. Nobody has said no.
Well, that's powerful.
Which is very powerful. Yes. And I know it will continue, because this is a great community and they do want to help our schools. Yes. And so they just need to know how to do that.
Absolutely. What are some examples, Kylia, that have been, areas that you were able to plug into? I know you all mentioned a couple of just amazing opportunities that have been out there. So what are some examples that fit under that umbrella?
Well, and I think to tag with what Reba was saying, it's also interesting on the flip side when we're talking to administrators at schools and we mention these different businesses and they're like, oh, we didn't realize we could partner with them, or yes, we would love to do certain things with them. And so we're seeing it on both sides of the spectrum. But for one, we're building partnerships with the Florida Tropics, the Indoor Soccer League, and being able to have our students and families attend those games because the students have earned that opportunity. We're building with the Lakeland Magic, another opportunity with students, but not only with going to the games and attending because you earned it, but also having our bands perform, our cheerleaders perform, the dance troops perform, exposing our students. We're working now on a new expo for parents to be able to understand what are the enrollment options for their students, because we understand that that's a challenge out in the community just for parents, not knowing when is open enrollment, how do I sign my son up or my daughter up, what are the different programs that are available, what do these schools even offer for my students. So we're working on a new showcase that's coming out in, I was to just say it's coming in January. I was going to
You're going to give the sneak peek.
No,
oh, she's good.
Coming in January. We're working on it. We just signed a contract with Lakeland Mall to utilize their space.
Wow.
So we're building out things. Reba can attest to what she just built with a realtor in our community for one of her elementary schools. I don't know if she's at liberty to share, but
I can.
We have some great things that are coming down
we
the pipe.
can give some shout outs.
I can give a shout out.
It's good to be able to do that.
I do. So thanks, Kylia. So with Southwest Elementary, I've really been talking to a lot of business partners about the concept of adopt a school. And so it's really finding a company, finding a business. It can be a nonprofit, it can be faith-based, and finding them and like, okay, let's partner with just this school. What can we do, and with this school for the year or for longer? And so in speaking with Jen Lay of the Lay Group, she said, oh, I'm all about it. And so she goes, I'd love to do Southwest Elementary. So I said, okay, we're going to set up a meeting with the principal and the AP, the assistant principal. And so we sat down, and Jen asked the principal, Julie Sloan, what do you need? And so she, told some things about beautification and things. And she's like, well, I'm just going to throw this out there, Julie said. We would love to start an ITV academy for our elementary students. And Jen got tears in her eyes, and she's like, I'm in. Because she had gone through middle school and high school here in Polk County through the ITV programs, and at Lakeland High School got a scholarship to go to Florida Southern for that. So she said that whole program showed my path.
Absolutely.
And I want to help these little ones. So she donated a substantial amount of money and for the paint and all this wonderful stuff. And so now that will be one of the first academies in elementary school next year. So we're really proud of her for that.
It just makes me giddy with excitement to hear that. One, because ITV is my background, and I taught that when I was in school. And, we are so excited about our engineer here today, Mr. Gash. He also was an ITV teacher as well. So giving students the tools to be able to be successful, telling them about it is one thing. Putting it in their hands and giving them access to real world application, that's a whole nother vibe, as young people say. Yeah. And so that is really important. I was thinking about, both of you kind of shared about elementary schools, but I can't help but think about high school students and the huge lift they have graduating and going into jobs that are high skill, high wage. Lakeland, Polk County School District is very, very intent on academies. So Absolutely. In your roles, how are you able to help facilitate, the process or the programs that are supported through the academies? And, I know Miss Kylia over here, because we have a couple of other ways which we are connected, right? But if you can give us a sneak peek about what's going on in some of these academies, what's in the pipeline? What's going to be happening with those from your viewpoint?
What can we tell you? Our academies are flourishing in a lot of areas. We are super excited about the work that's being done. And with our roles, we're able to tap into those outside businesses that tie with those industries that are already influenced by our academies, or that our academies are influenced by them. But like Reba said, bringing in new academy options too. For instance, we have out at Tenorock, we have our Power Academy with Lakeland Electric. Thank you so very much. We appreciate you. I have my water cup.
We're in the studio for Lakeland Electric.
But then we also started a new program out there called 3DE, where we're working with students to solve business challenges.
Wow.
These are 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th graders. This year is the first year, so we're starting with 9th graders. And businesses present a challenge. And with that challenge, the students then come back and determine what is the solution that best meets
Now, you shared a little bit about that. Give the example that you gave me about what happened.
No, I don't want to share our kids. So this particular one that we just had, I'll give you that one because it's all done now, was with the Sheriff's Department. And our students who, remember, we're coming off of COVID. And so our kids haven't had a lot of experience having to do presentations and be in person. And so with this recent one, the students were tasked with creating a PowerPoint presentation to share the information, to share the solutions for their challenge. The challenge that they were faced with was, what agencies can the Sheriff's Department partner with that will help bring like-minded or service-minded individuals into the Sheriff's Department? And so the kids were coming up with different options, different businesses, different organizations in our community. And during their presentation time, it was shocking for them. We have to get up and speak. We have to not chew gum while we're speaking. We have to talk clearly.
Wow.
We have to be able to make eye contact with you. And so having that opportunity to work with them one-on-one and help them be more prepared, because they needed to present this to the Sheriff's Department. So we had to make sure that they were ready when the time came. And so when their time came to actually present, the Sheriff's Department chose the winning group. And it was just so exciting watching them. And so now the other groups see what happens and they're ready. They're already saying, ma'am, miss. They don't call you by your name. They just call you ma'am or miss. Miss, for the next one, I'm coming. I'm ready. We're coming for the next group and we're going to win. My team's going to win. And we're getting new members in our group. And they're excited about it because they're solving issues for others, but they're winning at it and they're learning a new skill.
I love that. I love it. And just recently, I know last week, and I can, speak to this. having the unique position of being a principal, certified principal, and a entrepreneur and business owner, your principal for a day program. It was absolutely, and I just sat there, just reminiscing, saw old friends and colleagues from when I was in the brick and mortar. Thank you so much for allowing me to be able to participate from that perspective. But talk a little bit about that program, because some of the share outs and some of the highlights that were shared was just absolutely phenomenal.
It was. So that program, Principal for a Day, Steve Warner over in Winter Haven started that, and it was to get the business partners into the school. And so we have scaled it, and we are all doing it in our areas now. We all did it last Friday, and Kylie and I, joined together. So we had 10 schools and 20 business partners. So each school, 2 business partners went out for 3 hours and just kind of shadowed the principal. They met with leadership teams, met with teachers, walked around and saw students. Some of them even did lunch duty. And then we came back to the well. Thank you for hosting us. And we had a nice lunch, and Superintendent Hyde joined us. And so we just had a share out, and everybody got to just kind of talk about what was their aha moment. What did they take away from this? But not only what they took away, but what's your action item? What can you do next? We don't want this to just be, oh, that was a fun day. We want it to be, okay, I see a need. Let me go back to my company. Let me go back to my civic organization, my church, and this is how we can help.
Absolutely.
And so that's a really good thing. We may even scale it to a full day, because as Mr. Hyde said, you don't really get full understanding of being a principal in 3 hours.
He said, it's not complete until you had a chance to do lunch duty.
Exactly.
Right. Or after school duty. I mean,
dismissal.
What was some of your insights for the program? I know you were facilitating. Both of you did an amazing job with facilitating, but what was your takeaway in seeing that kind of come to fruition?
I think it was really beneficial getting some of those grassroots organizations and those mom and pop businesses to be involved too, because we sometimes forget that they're just as important as the larger corporations and companies. So we try to focus on inviting all businesses and involving them in the process of what we're doing. But it was nice hearing them, the aha moments, like, wow, it was really great to see the administrators interacting with the kids, knowing the kids by name, the kids feeling comfortable to come give a hug to an administrator. In our day, you didn't speak to the principal unless the principal called you in. And if you got called in, you were in trouble. So you stayed away from the principal and the assistant principal. But knowing that there are people now that can see what's on the campuses, people were seeing programs that they didn't know schools were offering. So those aha moments were just, yes, this is what we wanted you to experience. This is why we do this, because we need you to see where we are in our schools. And if you're on the outside looking in, you're only looking at the exterior. You're only looking at what's in the media. You're only looking at what you see on social media.
There's so much more than that.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
When you walk on the grounds of the school,
Yeah.
this is what's actually happening.
You guys are giving me chills. So we're almost done. It doesn't even seem like we've been talking a long time. But if both of you would share what you see as your greatest need in your role, what do you see in terms of the greatest need to support your program?
I'd say engagement. I mean, it's all about getting our companies and businesses engaged and educating them. I mean, they're willing to help. It's just, okay, what's the need? We have to give them somewhat of a toolkit on, here are some things that you can do. Check, check, check. And so giving them that opportunity. I wanted to talk really quick about a new program that we're starting called Inside PCPS. Yes. We had our first class day yesterday. It was great. So we have invited 27 Leadership Polk alumni. We started with that group, alumni, to be a part of this pilot program. And we tried to start it before COVID. COVID hit, couldn't do it. So Sarah Beth Wyatt, one of our school board members, brought this to our attention then. Mr. Hyde came aboard and loved it. So really, it's a year-long, 9-month program. And these 27 business leaders from across the county will experience the day in the life and everything that you're going to need to know about our school district every month. So yesterday was whole child, school safety, our magnet acceleration innovation choice schools. So, I mean, they heard from our Captain Jill Seymour about keeping our kids safe. They learned about the Crystal Lake Elementary Community Partnership School. Nice. And they went to Code Academy of Design and Engineering and really had great and learned about robots, and they have a beehive. I mean, it was, they walked away as being the first day going,
probably
wow, overwhelmed,
I had no idea.
Tired, but saying this is a great experience. Yeah. So I think that's something that it's a challenge because we've got to expose these people, but I think we're finding the solution by getting them in
Absolutely.
to the schools so that then they can come forward and go ahead and tell someone else, you need to do this next year.
Exactly.
And getting more champions on our side.
I love it. What were you going to say one of the greatest needs that you see?
Just again, bringing in the business partners, the churches, the civic organizations, and helping everyone understand and find their niche. It may not be that you can do something directly, but maybe you have a connection. We had a school that had potholes everywhere that the parents were parking for their pickup line, and it was tearing up their cars. They reached out. I reached out to someone I knew within the county government. Next thing you know, within a matter of days, the county was coming in, filling in all the holes.
Yes.
Something so simple. We needed bus stops. One of the schools had kids going for summer school. Kids couldn't get there. Reached out to Citrus Connection. They came in and put a bus stop right in front of the school. Simple things like that. So if you have those connections, you know places where we can get things solved for our students in our schools or ways that we can get them solved, let us know that. We can share that out. So we're working hand in hand to cover Lakeland and make sure that the needs are met for our schools and students.
So while we're right there, and then we're going to kind of wrap it up, and what are some things what do businesses need to do? What's the next step? And so if I'm a business, and certainly I have a lot of opportunity from the seat, but I'm a new business. I just started. I'm a startup, and I want to get involved. What do I need to do? Who do I need to call?
One thing you can do is connect with the Lakeland Chamber. We say that because that's where our office is, so it's a win-win.
Yes.
You can connect with the chamber as a new business,
Great.
get on their list, find out their programs and services, but then also connect with us. Our offices are there. You can leave messages for us on our phone lines there. You can email us at any time, and then reach out and connect with us, and we'll reach back because we want to be connected.
That's such a great collaboration to be offered the opportunity to have your office space in the chamber. It is the epitome of collaborating and partner, and so we're so excited that the chamber made that offer and is supporting that even the more. As we kind of get to the end of the conversation, I have learned so much. One of the things that really impresses me about what the both of you do is the amount of media that you put out there about what's going on with schools. I would have loved, as a building principal, to have, someone whose purpose is to make sure people know what's going on in schools and to promote it. Kylia from and as well as you as well. So do you have your own Facebook page, or are you promoting it through your own pages? Because I see stuff, I get emails, something comes out. I mean, during the hurricane,
Absolutely.
I received information from the both of you. So I think that is probably one of the most powerful things that could exist is this community. It's when one school is impacted by potholes or by, lack of resources, then everyone has an opportunity to step up to the table and make an impact. So with final closing remarks, the both of you can say something that maybe you didn't share, but go ahead and give that. And, I can see us getting a wind up over here. So why don't you start, Kylia, with your final words?
Just know that we're here and we want to be involved and we want to connect you. You can be a mentor. You can be a person come out and clean our grounds. You can do food drives, clothing drives. As our superintendent said at our meeting last Friday, we need the human capital. And he always says now, the kids are waiting. So just come join us.
And it's all really about time and talent. These kids would love to hear, we have the Great American Teaching coming in. Just come in and speak to the kids. Tell them about your job. Tell them about your pathway to get there, because sometimes they need to see in themselves, they need to see somebody else and go, oh, I can do that. And the other thing that I'm learning is there are so many jobs out there that these children have no idea about.
Yes.
Like what he's doing, like having a podcast. I mean, things that are so exciting for them. So come out and be a part of it. And once you give your time and talent, I always say the treasure may follow, and that's great. But do what you can. Give back. Just give back.
I don't think I could say it any better. Wrap it up with a bow and just make it real amazing. You all are phenomenal. Kylia, Reba, thank you so much for sharing not just what you do, but your passion, your resources. I am 100% certain people are going to come looking for you guys.
Good.
And they can find you at the well, they can find you at the chamber office,
Yes.
but most importantly, they can find you. I love what you said about what Superintendent High says. Kids are waiting.
Kids are waiting.
Students are
Kids are
waiting.
waiting.
So let's show up.
Absolutely.
And
Show
let's
up
do
for
what
'em.
we do. Thank you so much for tuning in to Listen Lakeland. Your feedback is valuable, and we encourage you to head on over to www.lakelandvision.org to participate in our monthly survey related to today's show topic.
I said, welcome to the good life.
Listen Lakeland is brought to you as a collaborative project between Lakeland Vision, the City of Lakeland, and Hall Communications, a community working together to provide an exceptional quality of life. Thank you for being with us.